friend Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review. This is one I actually wanted to babble about on Friday, but unfortunately I didn't even get this until yesterday because some places just think it really getting. I've warned about it. Don't order stuff. If you live in the States, don't order stuff from within the States. Order from without. You always get it better, or quicker. But anyway, finally got this one. It's one I was really looking forward to. Because I'm a huge Thin Lizzy fan. I'm talking about the Acoustic Sessions, the whole album. They had an EP that came out last year that was when they did the Vagabonds of the Western World box sets. They had some remixes that they did that they found, of early tracks that were used to in the construction of the songs. They did 4 songs back then. This is a little different. Still those same 4 songs are included in here. They definitely changed some stuff, especially on Slow Blues, for sure. That one's a lot different. What they did was they took, in case somebody doesn't know what this is, it's Phil Lynot's vocals, and they're different vocal tracks than what we've heard. These are alternate takes and stuff, but of songs we've already heard. And Brian Downey, whatever he had recorded, some of the drums are used on this. And a couple of the bass lines that Phil recorded are also used in here. But Eric Bell went back in and recorded guitar parts for these just recently, and Eric Bell and Brian Downey and Phil Lynott were the band for the first 3 albums. And they did stick with songs from the first 3 album time frame. There's actually some EPs and singles mixed in, so these were all taken from all over the place from that time frame, not just from those 3 albums. I had really mixed feelings about this. I actually debated on whether I should do this review or not at all, but because I had some I was wondering what it was going to be like. I guess not the first time a band has done something like this. The first thing that comes to mind is Jim Morrison when they did American Prayer. They took some of his stuff and they made music to it. This is a little different because these songs are already written or in the writing process, and these are already songs that have been released. Final, finished versions of these have already been released once already. These are just a lot different, actually. So, Eric Bell went back in and recorded it. So it is the core band that was the band. They didn't have the other guys, come in and, from different lineups, come back in and do anything. It was just, so they stuck with Eric Bell, who, did a fine job on this. I wasn't really sure what to expect, quite honestly. So the first thing I noticed, because the first track, Mama Nature Said, was actually one of the ones that they had done before. I don't know how I should do this one. I got really mixed feelings on this whole thing. I don't know if I should just give the positives and negatives. So I guess what I'm going to say is the positive is we get more Phil Lynott. Who can complain about that? I'm not complaining about that at all. It's cool hearing some of the other takes he did in kind of a finished version. Not sure why they chose only acoustic. It would have been cool to hear, what these songs, because I know a lot of guys who write, musicians write songs on acoustic, and then they develop into a more rockin' song. And I think that's what some of these were supposed to be, and it would have been nice to hear that. At the same time, acoustic's a little bit different than anything we've ever heard from them, although I don't think all of these songs benefited from being just acoustic. But they didn't use just acoustic. For instance, Slow Blues has a cool bluesy thing that Eric plays along with Phil's vocal line in this version. That was not on the EP version. They didn't do that. They added that in here. They added a little distortion to Phil's voice too, which was a little weird. But I like this version really good. I actually really enjoyed that. The acoustic version of Whiskey in the Jar I thought was cool. I didn't really stray very far from the original arrangement that they did of it. A lot of people don't really know that's not their song. It's just an old song that they kind of made their own, so people identify that song with them. But they stuck to their original version of that. I thought that was pretty cool. And actually liked the song Double, and I think the acoustic version of that worked really well. A couple of the other ones kind of got a little lackluster. I don't want to say boring, but they just didn't do as much as I thought they could have done with them. Even just adding something other than the same guitar part from beginning to end, which they did on a couple of these. They didn't, like Here I Go Again, it was one of the ones I thought they could have maybe done just a little bit more with. And this clocked in just pretty close to 45 minutes. So by the time I got to the end, I was actually had my fill, which is kind of funny because at first I saw that it was only 9 songs, but then after listening to it, I was like, okay, I'm good with 9. They did, I mean, I don't want to bust on too much. They did add some orchestration in there, and I'm not sure if they actually, on some of the songs they did, but I'm not sure if they changed the bass line in Slow Blues, because that sounded a lot different than the previous version I had heard, just the whole texture of it. And I think they did a good job mixing it as well as they possibly could. When they're recording something from 50 years ago with something recorded brand new, sometimes it's hard to make things mix well. Like for instance, the thing comes to mind is the Beatles stuff that they did. That was a little different because they were taking like really bad recordings of things of John Lennon and trying to make it sound good with new recordings. This was actually studio stuff they did with Phil here and mixing it with other studio stuff. Maybe they should have used an older recording technique, like maybe I don't know what they did, if they went direct to tape or if they did this digital. I'm assuming digital, but if they had done something like that to make it sound a little bit more like the newer tracks sound more like mixing better with the original tracks instead of trying to make the original tracks sound more modern. That's just my personal opinion on that, though. But it was fun to listen to it, hear what they could have done. I don't know if they're going to do this with anything from the, other albums. Maybe go back and get, some other reworkings of this stuff or not. Don't know. I'm interested in hear what other people think of this. I actually haven't really read or watched any reviews on what other people think of this. I wanted to go in with a, just a fresh view of my own. Still have some mixed feelings about it. It was fun listening to it. I definitely would not recommend anybody who is not a Thin Lizzy fan start with this. I think if you are a Thin Lizzy fan, you're going to probably enjoy listening to it, because anything that Phil has done that is not out there, that we haven't heard yet, it's fun to hear. And it was interesting hearing him sing these songs just a little bit differently. Definitely not like the more well-known songs for sure. This is all the early stuff when they had that more folky Celtic feel anyway. They weren't quite as rock back in the earlier days. At least not till the third album there, they started rocking it up a little bit. And that's the way I feel about it. But anyway, when Vagabonds came out, that was a little bit more rock than the first two, but not much represented on here from that one. So I don't know. I'm just kind of all over the place with this one. Still don't know what I think for sure. Still, I've listened to it several times too, and I'm still like up in the air as to what I really think of it. So interested to hear what anybody else out there feels about it, or whether they should or shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. It's all a matter of opinion, I guess, anyway. But yeah, feel free. Let me know what you think. You tell me I'm way off base or if I'm on the mark. Well, who knows? It's all about just the opinion anyway, and whether we enjoyed it and we didn't. And I did enjoy it. So at the end of the day, happy I got it. It was fun listening. That's about all I got to say about that one. So, as always, I say, like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because if they are going to keep, doing some Thin Lizzy releases, I'm really interested in to hear what they're going to do. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Until next time, see you.